is behind you. You change. I remember specifically growing up when I was in high school. I remember in our congregation at the time, there were several women that were married to husbands that were not members of the church at the time. Well, I remember somehow in our class in Sunday school, we had been talking about pray for somebody that you know is not a member of the church, and just continuously pray for them, and if you have a chance, talk to them or whatever. And I remember that as a challenge. I remember it taking place one whole summer, and I remember there were 7 or 8 different couples. One of them was baptized, one kind of right after another. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, there was another one. Down the road, there was another one. It was like, it was exciting to me as growing up, like in high school. I thought that was the neatest thing. I really did. And it was one of those deals where, and I'll say this, the preacher at the time was Leroy Dedman. And it just amazed me how he knew how to, I guess you would say, communicate inwardly to all these people, because he did different things with some of them. Some of them were on the church softball league and different things like that, and different outings they had. It was like, well, I've heard 2 or 3 of them say it was like, well, Leroy just went all out, he went that extra mile to try to help them. And it worked. It worked all through these years. Now, there's, in the past few years, there's been different ones of them pass away. And I remembered seeing them baptized as adults. There was no reason to think that it couldn't be done, because I saw different ones of them. And back when I was growing up then, it was when you had a gospel meeting. That's when everybody was talking, well, who's going to be baptized? Who's going to go forward during this meeting? And there would be several, it'd be a whole week thing from a Sunday morning till a Saturday night. And there'd be different ones, several different ones. And it wasn't until I got older, I mean probably 20, 25, something like that, that it got to where there were more people being baptized and stuff that did not actually come forward down the aisle. There's either several after church, in the middle of the night, other different times during the week. It did not matter. I mean, it's like you need to do it now. You don't need to wait. You don't have to wait till you go to church. You don't have to wait to be in front of a bunch of people. And I remember some of them were probably, the older ones, I remember some of them were probably scared to go down the aisle. I mean, it's a hard thing to do, especially not people actually being baptized, but other people that are members of the church and know that they need to go forward, know that they need to ask God for forgiveness. And when they got the courage to do that, it was a big thing. And I never have forgot that. I have never forgotten what Leroy Dedman preached about, those different kind of things. And Brother Johnny was talking about a few weeks ago about, any hour of the day or night, you just, you realize what you need to do and stuff. It's like, don't just keep putting it off. Because I remember him talking about his uncle. I had thought about two men when during that time when I was growing up. They never were baptized. And I remember one of the men, when he passed away, I remember the wife telling the preacher, she said, there is one thing I want you to know. She said, I do not want you to preach him into heaven. Because she said, as much as he went to church, she said, I'm here to tell you he was never baptized. And she said, we tried. She said two of the elders had tried and talked to him, and he said he would, and this and that, but he wasn't ready right then. And when the man died, he was almost 90 years old and had all kinds of ample chances and just never made that choice to do that. Those kind of things have always stuck in my mind. I've just always thought about that. I think of people today that wasn't able to have those kind of chances. You know what I mean? I mean, that one particular man was an older farmer, always farmed, and his wife was real active in the church and everything, and but he come with her. He come with her all the time, and but those kind of things just always bothered me. Now, an older friend of mine, he's gone now. I remember for years he came with his wife, and they didn't live too far down the road from me, and I just always remembered that. And I know one of the elders, he kept going to his house, not just a lot. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 times within a couple months, like that, and he'd go and talk to him and everything. And the 4th or 5th time he went, he said, you know what? I want to be baptized. I want to be baptized tonight. Well, I can't remember the whole situation, but they went that night and he was baptized. And it wasn't 4 or 5 years down the road, he come up with cancer, lung cancer. He had smoked. He had stopped smoking when he became a Christian, but the consequences from on back had done all that. But he was a changed man, just like these changed. But it's like, if you know people like that, it makes you realize how much time you don't have. Because we know in this congregation, as much as anywhere, there are younger people that have had tragic things happen to them. They've had different things, illnesses, different circumstances like that have just really took a toll on them. And age just seems like it doesn't matter. It can be a child, a baby, it can be a teenager, it can be somebody in their 20s or 30s. It don't matter. This congregation is a prime example of stuff that has happened to people from being a very, very small child to people that are almost 100. And we just need to always take the opportunity to do and encourage people that we think, because you don't ever know. You saying something to somebody might make the difference. Wouldn't you like to be the one that made the difference? I've just seen it happen too many times in my lifetime, which makes you look back on it and makes you keep wanting to keep on and helping people, like whatever you need to do to help them, encourage them. Don't make them feel like they're just out there by themselves. But unless y'all have got some questions, that's about all I've got. But I appreciate y'all being here and listening to me. So maybe Mark will be back next week.